The Coin Lady channel is pleased to have you back. Guys, today is a momentous day for cryptocurrencies. We'll get to the big news soon. Since the law that recently passed the House is so central to the topic, I think it would be helpful to first explain the idea of a crypto issuer, or the person or entity responsible for creating a crypto asset. Once this thing reaches the finish line, I believe it will be included in the final legislation. There are a lot of regulations. For example, there is a cap on how much of an asset's supply the issuer can own, and there are other limits, such as the need to disclose. Following David's logic, we must ask, here, who is the issuer of XRP? Simply put, Ripple did not originate XRP. How can the corporation be an issuer when they weren't even around when the token was created? I informed David that the following. Mark Bagel, a former regional director of the SEC, notes that just because an issuer is involved doesn't imply that the original originator is involved. Then Dave asks, what the fuck does it mean? I read Mark's post, and I agree with him, he said as a follow-up. This is of paramount importance. We are just average folks here, and we can pick the brain of the brilliant David Schwartz. Mark Fakel, a former SEC regional director, various attorneys, John Deaton, Hogan, and a host of others are available for consultation on cryptocurrency and related topics. We can also get to the bottom of what these terms mean. We are rather fortunate to have such a formidable tool at our disposal. What follows is what Mark has to say. A definition of an issuer is missing from the 33 Act, which is a major disappointment. Actually, it's like that was intentional. In this way, they can record a wide variety of actions. And individuals can't try to find tiny ways around it, like making a security, and then giving it to another entity and saying, we didn't make it. This is its own legal entity. Ripple also failed to raise this argument in its lawsuit against the SEC. The point is moot. It makes no difference whether the creator or acquirer of the security is a corporation seeking funding through the sale of shares, he added. Therefore, making the asset is unnecessary. If Ripple were an issuer, it would be a major player in the industry. Affiliates would include Chris, Brad, and Arthur. As a result, their combined XRP holdings can exceed 20%. In my opinion, this will turn out to be a positive development if this law is successful. Although Ripple's current XRP holdings are problematic, I believe this will be beneficial for the cryptocurrency in the long run. They can accommodate this new demand by making use of that escrow account. The potential passage into law affords them much room for maneuver in their preparations. Reworking some things will be difficult, but in the long run, I believe it will be better for everyone. That prerequisite is actually something I'm looking forward to. Please hear me out. I just wanted to clarify that the video I posted earlier today was not in response to the news that XRPL Laboratories will be charging for certain functions on their app. Allow me to clarify this. Mr. Wind is, in my opinion, a behemoth in this field. Throughout the span of one afternoon, he has accomplished more for XRP than I will throughout my whole life. Even though I'm only a commentator, I believe he should receive all the money he can obtain. Furthermore, I wish him the best of luck. In today's video, I guess I'm expressing my disbelief that a product like Salmon Pro, or whatever it's going to be named, will be successful if sold and paid for by the general public. I get the impression that you're trying to grow your user base by attracting those who will utilize your software and take advantage of its advanced features, such as making swaps. In my perspective, that's the key to growing into a highly valued company. I don't see a problem with his charging for the program. It serves its purpose admirably. Many find it enjoyable to use. That is, assuming he finds success along that route. In my opinion, he is deserving of every cent and more. In my opinion, that is not the way to go. This is merely a commentary, and that is my personal view. He will manage his business according to his own standards. Plus, I don't see any problem with charging for it. In my opinion, that is not the way to achieve enormous success. That was really my aim in making that video. My performance was subpar. However, by thinking, you will misunderstand me. Either he's doing anything improper, or he shouldn't have the authority to charge. To be honest, I'm not sure it's the best course of action. Remarkable update. This wasn't given nearly enough consideration, in my opinion. At long last, Coinbase makes it possible for great New Yorkers to trade XRP. The fact that they are unable to trade XRP on that platform is quite frustrating. Big city financial hubs can now trade XRP on the New York market, which was previously impossible, so we're making progress. On most exchanges, you can tell it's back online. Currently resides in the US, and Coinbase has resumed trading in New York, as it ought to. Just like any other day, that probably wouldn't be front-page news if it weren't for the huge move, the historic approval of the transition to Ethereum ETF. Did SEC complete step 2 on this? We were told it wouldn't happen. Joe Ethereum, who is currently celebrating, mentioned that the past 2 days have been quite eventful. We are glad to see that common sense has won out in the end, but we will keep fighting for Ethereum in our action against the SEC. Their lawsuit seeking clarification for Ethereum appears to be proceeding as planned. Also, he's got a hashtag, ETH. On behalf everyone. Must we keep suing to get that answer? They must have finally understood today. In fact, I wouldn't be shocked if they decide to drop the case. According to what Eleanor Tarrant says, the following individuals are wondering, what the fuck happened? How on earth did the FCC go from stating that Ethereum is a security to approving the ETF after previously sending a Wells notice to Consensus and the Ethereum Foundation? The SEC now claims that they were only sending out war notices in relation to Uniswap and never intended to suggest that Ethereum was a security. That being the case, and in my opinion, that is completely absurd. In my opinion, the SEC became entangled in this political conflict. Plus, they blew it when they didn't believe for a second that the Ethereum Foundation was the intended recipient of the well notifications they were sending out. The political winds shifted, and they had to change course, but they never made it crystal clear that Joe Lubin was suing to have them classified as a commodity rather than a security. Had they known that, they would not have been confused by the notices in those walls. The SEC does not want staking to be engaged, so the ETF, or Ethereum, had to abandon its staking ambitions in its upgraded version, much as Fidelity. Therefore, you will not be able to participate in that stake or reap those benefits if you purchase Ethereum through an ETF. As a result, many will pour money into Ethereum without seeing any return. Additionally, Adam Cochran states the native staking and restaking AP values could end up going up if ETFs take in a lot of Ethereum, but don't stake it. People aren't getting in on the action, but those who do stand to gain greatly from the network's increasing value. I anticipate that they will modify this regulation at a later date, since currently, only native users are allowed to stake. Additionally, that ETF will allow you to stake assets like Ethereum. And as we can see, the House passed measure explicitly states that staking is a standard component of the network. Plus, it's totally acceptable within the law and anticipated. Although I do not anticipate it happening on day one, I do believe that these ETFs will engage in staking in the future. Thus, it is clear that a PY truly increases significantly for individuals involved with the network. Institutional and large-scale investor demand and the popularity of these ETFs will determine their ultimate fate. There was an unparalleled demand for Bitcoin there. In reality, how much Ethereum will there be? Look, we're going to figure it out. It's the world's second most valuable cryptocurrency. We anticipate their transition to the altcoin arena, which will extend well beyond Ethereum, in due time. Who will be the next one to go? Will it be tokenized XRP? Not my favorite asset, but I wouldn't be surprised if Solana was it. However, for the time being at least, it appears that's where everyone is focusing. The time it takes to get the third asset is something we will observe. But here's the thing. If your coin is really popular, eventually you'll be offered an exchange-traded fund, ETF, or a bundle product that allows you to invest in a variety of cryptocurrencies at once. This location is going to grow very quickly. It may take some time, but Ethereum is not going to be the final exchange-traded fund, ETF, you should believe. So be patient and put your money into the assets that are coming up next. The video ends there. Do me a favor and subscribe to my channel. Coming up shortly, farewell.